Geo R. This is Unit 8, Lesson 3, and today we're going to talk about equations of lines. So back in Algebra 1, you also talked about equations of lines, so this is going to be a little review of that. So without using our calculator in exercise 1, we want to identify the slope and the y-intercept of each of the lines and then graph them. So if you remember, our equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. M is my slope, so the number next to my x is my slope, and b is my y-intercept. So if we're looking at the one on the left, m is my slope, so my slope is 2. Now I like my slope to be a fraction, so I can always put a 1 under that, and my y-intercept is -7. Now when I graph these, my y-intercept is the point I'm going to start with, so go to your graph and go to the point -7. And draw a point. That's your first point. And then my slope is 2/1. So the top number tells me to go up or down. Since it's +2, I'm going to go up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. I like to have at least 3 points to draw my line. All right, I did 4 here because I don't actually have a ruler on this. So the more points, the more accurate it's going to be. All right, and then I'll do the other one. So y equals -1/2 x plus 3. So my slope is -1/2. Now notice that negative sign is in between the 1 and the 2. It has to go with one of the numbers. It really doesn't matter which one, but generally we bring it to the number at the top. So my slope is -1/2 and my y-intercept is 3. So again, 3 is my starting point. So I'm going to start at 3. And since this is -1, I go down 1 and to the right 2. So down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2, and there is my line. All right, and again, I didn't have a ruler here, so I can see that the other line that I had, which I don't think I can change right now, is off a little bit because they are supposed to intersect. Yeah, so I can't erase those. Oh, there, I erased it. So let me try redrawing this one up to, so it's also going to go through that point right there. All right, without a ruler, it's kind of hard to do these. But I can see that point of intersection right there, where the two lines intersect, is 4, 1. Because the next question does want to ask me, it says, what's the solution to the equation? Now, I'm really just solving for the x right here. All right, so I can do it algebraically. I can add 1/2 x, and I add 1/2 x, which actually makes it 2.5 x, and then I add 7, so I get 2.5 x equals 10, and I divide by 2.5, I get x equals 4, but I can see from my graph that x equals 4 was also the solution. But I just wanted to show you how you can do that algebraically. All right, so 2 important lines that come up a lot that you should be familiar with are y equals x and y equals -x. So they're asking us the slope of both of those lines. The slope of y equals x, the slope is the m, the number in front, so the slope is 1. And y equals -x, the slope is -1. So some obvious points are like 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, -2, -2. So basically, whatever x is, y is the exact same thing. Now, 0, 0 is also point, but if I plug in 1, then I have to negate it. Plug in 1 for x, well, that makes y -1. If I plug in 2 for x, that makes y -2. If I plug in -1 for x, a -1 makes y the opposite. So basically, x and y are the opposites of each other. So one of the lines, so basically it's all these points. This is the equation of the line y equals x. X and y are the exact same point. So the line will look like this. And the other one is y equals -x, and x and y are opposites of each other, so they look like this. So they did want us to graph those and label them. So they are lines, they have arrows at the end of them, and those are my 2 equations. So y equals x is a diagonal line, and so is y equals -x. They both go through the point 0, 0, but you can see that they are different lines. All right, so I graphed them and I labeled them. They have their equations. We're all set. All right, so lines are not always written in the form y equals mx plus b, but in order to identify the slope and the y-intercept, we'd like them to be in that form, so let's practice rearranging them. So A is pretty easy, all right? Remember, my goal is just to have all of these in y equals mx plus b form. So basically, I want y all by itself on the left. So for A, I'm just going to have to subtract 2x. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. So it's y equals negative 2x plus 7. Now, could I write it as y equals 7 minus 2x? Absolutely, but I'd like you to write the mx first and then the b, just because it's a good habit, and then you won't mix up the slope and the y-intercept. All right, so on b, I have to get rid of the 2x. I'm going to do that by subtracting 2x. So I have 3y equals, shove the negative 2x in front, negative 2x plus 12. And then in order to get y by itself, I have to divide by 3. Everything gets divided by 3. Everything. So I'm going to have negative 2/3 x plus 4. And then in the last one, I am going to subtract 4x. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So it's negative 4x plus 7. And then I'm dividing by negative 6. Everything gets divided by negative 6. Negative 4 divided by negative 6 is actually 2/3. And this will just be negative 7/6. Usually we bring that negative sign up to the top. And I didn't forget, they wanted us to identify the slope and the y-intercept for each of these. So for A, the slope is negative 2. My y-intercept is 7. For B, my slope was negative 2/3. My y-intercept was 4. And for C, my slope was 2/3, and my y-intercept is negative 7/6. Okay, so none of that could have been found if I didn't have them in the correct form. So that correct form is y equals mx plus b, and sometimes you'll have to rearrange things in order to get them in that form. So we talked about parallel and perpendicular lines and their slopes in units 1 and unit 2. So in exercise 4, I have line S, and the point 2,4 is also graphed. And I want to draw a line parallel to S that passes through the point 2,4. Well, first I have to find the slope of line S. I can do that graphically, would probably be the easiest way to do that. So this is a point right here. Oops, let's see, that's a point. That's a point. Just note, 2 points. So I went down 1 over 2. So the slope of line S is negative 1/2. So I want to do the same thing from the point 2,4. I want to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. And if I wanted to go in the opposite direction, I would go up 1 and to the left 2, up 1 and to the left 2. Sorry about that. And then I would just connect them. Again, I don't have a ruler, but I will do the best that I can there. And you can see that those lines are parallel to each other. Now they want me to write the equation of that line also, so I drew it. For the equation, I need a slope, which I already have, and I need a y-intercept. Well, my y-intercept is going through the y line at 5, so that equation is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. Not too bad. And I want to do something really, really similar for part B. I want to draw a line that's perpendicular to line S that goes through the point 2,4. So remember, line S, the slope of line S was negative 1/2. So the perpendicular slope is going to be positive 2 over 1. Change the sign and flip it. So from the point 2,4, I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and let me go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. All right, and if I connect those, now you can see that they're not actually intersecting. It's not intersecting S at a point, but that's not important. I really just need my y-intercept, and my y-intercept is 0. So y equals 2x. Could I write y equals 2x plus 0? Absolutely, but it's not necessary. Okay, so the purple line is perpendicular to line S, and the blue line is parallel to line S. And then this last one, I want to know which of the following lines is perpendicular to 10x plus 6y equals 12. In order to know, I need to find the slope. In order to find the slope, I have to get y by itself. I have to put it into y equals mx plus b form. So let's see what I did. I'm going to bring everything over to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 10x, and I'm going to have 6y equals negative 10x plus 12. And then I'm going to divide by 6, because I need to get y by itself. And that's going to be negative 5, I'm dividing by 2, negative 5/3 x. All right, I just reduced negative 10/6. So my slope is negative 5/3. Now, I want something that is perpendicular, so I'm going to have to flip that. The perpendicular slope would be positive 3/5. And look through your choices. Which one has a slope of positive 3/5? Choice 4 does. Okay, and we'll practice that all again tomorrow.